Welcome back to the world of Disco Elysium, where last time we learned that we pawned our gun to this person here, Roy. We also asked Roy for drugs. He was happy to give us drugs. It's pretty late, but we did sell our the lieutenant's hubcaps, so now we can pay for our hostel bill. We don't have to live on the street, which is good. But before we move on, perhaps we could take a look at what's in the pawn shop.
The boomboxes on the shelf look well-loved and well-traveled. Chipped, dented, they stare at you with the unblinking eyes of their tape reels.
Stand on the tips of your toes to see more.
One especially catches your eye. Deep gold and amber plastic with a big old handle on top. A classic boombox that says Stereo 8 approved. This is you. Golden orange. A sunset suite. Just make sure it works before you buy it.
Shopkeep, the Stereo 8 approved machine here
is the Harman Welsh W2, made in Vespa, designed in Seoul. Plays all reel-to-reel formats, 2mm, 8mm, 12mm. It's even got a little radio in there. It'll set you back 12 real.
Are you sure this is all in working order?
Absolutely. I've tested each one myself with recordings of speech, found sounds and music from a variety of genres, even though I don't really like music.
You don't like music in general? That's odd. What I really want to know is, could this device come handy in my police work? I am a police officer, you know.
If police work means playing tapes, sure. You can use it for that. Or any other time you'd need to play a tape.
It would be so irresponsible for us to buy this right now when we still owe money to Gart. But I mean, even if we did, it will only set us back 12 real, and we only owe Gart 60, so let's buy the boombox.
And here you are, quality sound reproduction on the go. It'll play anything, wherever. Turn any tape into a conversation of sounds and shapes.
Beautiful. We have a boombox now. We can use it to play tapes. This is the reel-to-reel boombox of everyone's youth. A little banged up, a little chipped, and honestly, not that loud either. Looks cool though. Excels at being carried on the shoulder, allowing you to play audio tape items and blast music into the face of unsuspecting strangers. I like this already. Let's equip that. It sounds like us. It's not currently blasting any beats, I'm sad to say. Let's see, we can't interact with it either. Yeah, we can't really... Oh, okay, we can't really do anything else with it at the moment. I was trying to see if I could make it blast some music, but we're not really hearing any tunes. What do we have here?
A typical Martinez streetlight sits among assorted floor and table lamps.
Let your gaze run over the streetlight.
The light pole has been carefully cut, and the wiring has been redone and attached to a standard indoor plug. The light buzzes faintly, but persistently. This would make quite a statement in your living room.
Thank you, Art Cop. Is that a street light?
Yes, officer. As you see, it's in perfect working order.
His manner is casual, but his speech is careful, measured. He wants you to know that he has nothing to hide.
Where did you get this?
It was brought to me to be altered.
We are not here to investigate the theft of city property.
He lays in so the pawnbroker doesn't hear him.
You have to admit it's rather clever what he's done with it.
He pauses, studying the light. How much for the street light?
700 real. A bargain, I dare say.
Are you out of your mind? There's one just like that on every corner.
The light has undergone 3 transformations, and every transformation, large or small, has a price tag.
He rests his elbows on the counter and brings his face closer to the glass. What do you mean transformations?
Well, there are the cost of removal and rewiring.
He throws you a look of weary patience.
The most important transformation is the light's placement among ordinary indoor fixtures, which has adjusted its morphological field. The light became suitable for use inside the home just a few days ago.
Okay, that checks out.
Yes. See, our art cop really agrees with that. With the morphological field, I imagine. We're not gonna be able to buy this street lamp anytime soon. Okay, there's nothing else I really need to know about the light. Okay, we still had one more shelf to go through.
You see rows of toy soldiers guarding the rest of the trinkets displayed on the table. Some on horseback, others in rags, others yet in bright blue uniforms. All are stern and unyielding in their duty. Try to find something pretty and cool here, then use it to win her back.
Win her back? What are you talking about, Inland Empire?
Yes. Buy something nice. A figurine.
You didn't answer my question. Inspect the knights on horseback.
Big men on big horses, clad in lamella armor and carrying flintlocks, the kind that would mow down a line of enemy soldiers in the blink of an eye.
Who are they?
Franco-Nigerian knights. I used to be very serious about these guys.
He looks at the dusty figurines in the dim light.
A long, long time ago.
Inspect the blue uniforms.
They're not all blue. These figurines also wear gold coats and caps, complemented by orange trousers. They are variously posed, wielding swords and rifles with bayonets.
Are these royalist soldiers?
Which ones? Ah, those. Yes, they are. I find the paint job a bit gaudy, but children like the bright colours indiscriminately.
How about the figurines in rags?
This set of soldiers isn't meant to look impressive. A few have rifles, but most of them carry pistols. Some even shovels and tall sticks.
Are these even soldiers?
You're probably talking about the revolutionaries, yes? Yes, they are soldiers, revolutionary soldiers. I think their poverty has been exaggerated for effect. When you place them next to the royalists, it doesn't seem like they could possibly win.
Let's see. It's meant to give people hope. Even we can do it. The contrast is meant to be disheartening, as it ought to be. It's impossible to win against the cohorts of capital. Ask my friend Guard, whose bitch it made me. I wish it was more nuanced. As it stands, I cannot comment. This is one for the chat, I think. What should we say about the revolutionary figurines? No question about that. I wish it were more nuanced. As it stands, I really cannot comment on these things.
I don't like either set very much, to be honest. But there are many parents among my customers.
Okay, see, I know for a fact that gave us +1 moralist. Because, well, we'll get to that later, but I do like the fact that chat has altered us to the point where we are we're mostly communist, but we have also said at least 2 fascist things, 2 ultra-liberal things, and now I do believe we just picked our first moralist choice off the lot. I'm sure we'll get to those eventually. Oh hey, interfacing is pretty high. At 72%, we could dig up a truly cool figurine in the box under the table. We can boost that up, actually. We can put on our interfacing gardening gloves. It's gonna make it's going to make it so much easier to go through this pile of figurines and find something truly cool in it.
Rows of toy soldiers guarding the rest of the trinkets displayed on the
See, what I say, 83%, but perhaps when I click this button, you should have the option to give me a boost to my skills.
Unyielding in their duty.
I feel like I'm speaking over you, Knick-Knack Stan. I'm sorry for that. Once I click this button, you should have the option to bring up my stats. You need to reduce one stat in order to bring it up. So what for this, for interfacing, we would need a Motorix boost to bring it up. And maybe after that, maybe chat decides to give me a boost to that, or a deboost. You may not want me to find that for whatever reason. Let's see how this plays. Normally I would just go with the 83% because it's pretty high, but perhaps we'll see what kind of result this yields. 70. Oh, thank you, chat. I love you. I love you for bringing down my Motorix for this. Let's try to find a figurine. Oh shit, I'm dying. I have to heal myself right now. If I don't, I'm gonna die. I need to do it right now. Or...
Despair creeps into you, getting fat on your weakness. Whatever noble intentions you once had as a police officer, it's eating them all up now. You're still coming up with sentences. That's a step up from total annihilation, right?
I'm done. No one even likes cops.
Yes, it can be difficult to be on the receiving end of so much distrust and outright hatred.
He says with a sad half smile.
Nothing you can say would make you feel any better now. Cop gives up the detective genre for social realism. Another police officer resigned from the RCM following a nervous breakdown. He now lives under a bridge, drinking and occasionally throwing excrement at passers-by, shouting, "I never loved that woman." When asked to comment, former colleagues objected to the theory that his psychological disintegration was precipitated by his wife leaving him. "It's because the Furrows lost that match," said Captain Ptolemy Price, once the man's superior officer. "It's because he couldn't get a big gun from acquisitions, and anyway, police work really burns you out after a while," Satellite Officer Jean-Vic Mayer, the deranged former cop's partner, commented. Sergeant Matt Torson, another former colleague, did not propose any theories, merely saying, "Whatever happened to him wasn't about birds. He got fucked, that's all."
So, chat, I hope you're happy for lowering my Motorix to the point where I failed to find a figurine that was truly cool, and as such, I quit the police force because I lost all my heart. Well, luckily it did autosave at some point, so we can just luckily get right back to it. I'm actually really glad that we got to see a death in this run. I could have saved us, but I didn't. I could have given myself a +1 to morale, but I decided not to because I wanted to see what would happen if we actually died. Or lost because of morale. Okay, where were we?
Hello, hello. Let me know if I can help you with anything.
Oh, I actually didn't notice this option before. The boombox I bought, it should play this tape, right?
Of course. It's in working order still, isn't it? Just pick your tape and set it spinning. It all starts with the tape.
Well, the tape is broken, so that's not gonna work, unfortunately. Did we speak to him? Yeah, we did speak to him about the lamp. So it was all about this. All about this right here.
Try to find something pretty.
Okay,
Yes.
I'm just gonna
Big man.
go through the same options because we already picked these. We already did all this.
Poverty has been exaggerated.
We said nuanced.
I don't like
All right, now we're back to where we were, and I don't trust you anymore, Chad. I'm just gonna go with this interfacing check without your help.
Why? What's this? A headless man riding a horse? A headless man wearing futuristic tracksuit trousers that say found.
Wow, I'm doing so much better without chat. What is this?
Oh, that's the headless phone rider.
Who?
The headless phone rider. It's an urban legend about a man who rides the streets of Revachol sporting a fawn tracksuit. As you see, he's missing his head.
He points at the decapitated figurine.
50 cents. Bargain priced. I'll throw in the tiny cap too. I think he's looking for it, or something. That part of the story has many interpretations.
The tiny cap on top of the headless fawn figurine. Where does the cap go? Well, 50 cents, that's a bargain. We gotta buy this.
Did I mention that this figurine is supposed to be lucky? Always carry it with you.
He grins.
That was a very smooth salesman's grin that almost comes off as earnest. You should learn from him.
The suggestion likes that grin. Alright, we got our figurine. Let's have a look at it. The headless fawn rider. The plastic headless fawn rider sits atop his equally plastic bull, his posture indicating either desperation or pride. Comes as a set with the infamous fawn cap for which he lost his head. The head is not included. Buyer beware. With that, I believe we've exhausted all our options here in the bookstore. No, the pawn shop. Why did I say the bookstore? We were at the bookstore a couple of episodes ago. This is not the bookstore. The bookstore's not even open anymore. Oh, there we go. Boombox. Boombox playing it up. Running around the streets at night, playing the boombox. I'm sure this person who lives here doesn't mind us blasting our boombox. Sorry. Had to bop my head to the beat for a little bit. Okay. What should we do? I believe the strike is all but over by now. Nobody's up at this late hour, surely. Yep, no one here. It says GRIH. The Greater Revachol Industrial Harbor. There's a person there. Suppose we could speak with them. Perhaps we should. They're still awake. Oh, what's this? A notice: in case of a strike, press button behind guard. A hermetically sealed door, locked by electronic means. There's no lockpicking or door kicking in this one. Nobody comes close to Measurehead. Oh, Measurehead. Choice Messier told us about a giant racist behemoth guarding the harbor. This should be an engaging conversation.
Your body betrays your degeneracy.
Yeah, Measurehead. His body totally betrays his degeneracy.
The young woman at the giant's side agrees. How about we leave this one up to the chat? What should we say to Measurehead about this? Size him up first? Ask him what he means? Challenge him on it? Say that it's unimportant? Or just leave it? What do you think we should say? Undisputed. My body does not betray my degeneracy.
You have succumbed to Al-Ghul.
His face contorts in disgust as if he were smelling a dead rat.
You reek of it. An invisible sword of Al-Ghul emerges from your throat. You cannot see it, but others can. It is making the woman in my company sick.
Wait, Al Ghul?
Yes, Al-Ghul.
But what is Al Ghul?
Al-Ghul is an ancient Ilmaran poison, a parasitic fungus that has colonized your race. It is a trick the desert pygmies played on you for humiliating them and stripping them of their land.
Intentionally fermented drinks have existed for 10,000 years.
Thank you, Encyclopedia actually coming through here. We can tell him that the Ilmaran people did not invent alcohol. It's existed since the Neolithic.
This is a fabrication the alchemists of Yizot and Bashir and their Rolam and Ghul have fed your people. Go on believing in it, race loser.
I have a feeling we're not gonna be able to change this man's way of thinking. I don't think that's how history works.
Why don't you have another drink? Your features are not yet congenitally deformed enough.
Oh yeah, Measurehead.
The babe looks at him with eyes full of admiration that transcends the merely sexual.
This is going well for Measurehead.
Kim, is it really so bad?
It's not good.
It's like a rat crawled into your stomach, got drunk and drowned.
Okay, maybe again we'll ask chat what to say. You're right, I'm a servant of Al Ghul, but I still need to enter the harbor. I don't have a problem with Al Ghul, I just drink a little on the weekends. Enough, I need you to open the door to the harbor. We are still drunk, by the way. We're still gonna be drunk for another 15 minutes. But maybe the chat can decide what we should say about this. Well, we have some very like-minded people in the chat. You're right, I'm a servant of Al Ghul, but I still need to enter the harbor.
No, you don't. You need to get another drink. Occidental Haplogroup B4 is done giving orders around here. The influence of the ham sandwich race is waning.
Does this remind you of someone? The guy down there?
That fat racist over there, as we point to the racist lorryman who's no longer there because he's already gone to sleep. You're just him after pumping some iron.
Look at my craniology. I am the pinnacle of my haplogroup. The pink blob is a bad example, even of yours. It saddens me. You were once a noble and powerful race. You gave the world eugenics, electricity, and powerful weapons of war like missiles and aerostatic aircraft. You made great gains in metallurgy, race theory, and statecraft. You dominated lesser cultures, like the deformed Hemians and the inexplicably potato-obsessed Koikos. But now your ascent to the genetic summit has halted. You are obsessed with sadness and with frivolous pop culture. You will be superseded. Isn't that right, babe?
It is, baby, yeah. You know it.
There is a button right behind him, just out of reach. It must be the one that opens the door to the harbor.
So, I guess my mic was off there. I'm looking at my physique as I'm looking through these options, and our physique is still pretty weak. We have 3 because we're drunk. Otherwise, it would be a 2. So push him out of the way is not looking like the very us things to do. We could just ask him to move 20 centimeters back. You're right. Now I just need you to let me into the harbor. If this is serious. Your people have probably killed a man. I need to talk to your boss. And again, it's up to the chat to decide. Oh, I was expecting this. Because we're a windbag, everyone wants to see us fail. Yes, push him out of the way.
That is right. You should leave the stage of history with dignity by inviting the other races to a great world war. Bring your troops to the Simonine Islands and to Boogie Street, and we will pulverize you. When you are gone, we will build a museum for you. The walls will be lined with bottles of Al Ghul, your beloved beverage. Inside, we will store the odes to homosexuality you call art, and your microcephalic skulls.
There may be a peaceful solution to this. You could internalize Measurehead's race theory. He would take you as one of his own.
Nope, I'm not asking chat. Wouldn't that mean I have to become a Semini supremacist myself?
Well, yes. Why? Don't you want to be a Seminese supremacist? So what if you're not Seminese? You can be anything.
Well, that's not what it said. What it actually said is, well, not as such. What do you do with a mastery of advanced race theory is up to you. You could reject the findings, sure, or accept them, and becomes an advanced racist. I suppose this is the game's way of telling us that if this is the only way to get to the harbor, where we have to subscribe, oh wow, that is high, our conceptualization is so good that we could easily do this. So even if we did, we could still just debunk it afterwards. We already provided evidence enough that what he's saying doesn't really make sense. But before we subscribe to his advanced race theory, or try to knock him out, maybe let's ask questions. I'm a police officer. Isn't Everard, the union boss, white?
Don't be vulgar. White or not has got little to do with this. The race enigma runs much deeper than that.
He turns his eyes towards the harbor, seemingly bored with you. Yeah, but you still serve him. How does that factor into your life?
Mr. Clare is a man of vision and means. He has the will to confront international capital. Something your race, naivistic communists, never did. Also, to serve is noble. It takes discipline. Your petulant individualism has only contributed to your race failure. It is lax and moronic.
Okay, so far, like I said, we're mostly communist, but we're also a bunch of other things. And at this point, before we've actually established what kind of a police officer we are, I think it's up to the chat to decide what kind of a police officer we are. I don't think, like, I know communist doesn't make any sense given what we've said so far, but individualism is also our jam because we're also a superstar. Or a mysterious fourth thing that also sounds like us because Inland Empire keeps chiming in. Or maybe we just want to be really high concept about it. Chat should decide this, though. What do you think? Okay, we've got this. But before we click on this, I actually want to look at something. Our moralist is currently at 1. I want to see if this is a moralist option or if this is truly an Inland Empire sort of thing. My jam is a mysterious fourth thing.
Jam. Individualism. You have gotten these ideas from degenerate youth culture, have you not? You have picked them up from rock and roll songs?
We are pretty disco. We already established our disco position. We should say this. We've gotten it from disco, actually.
Offshoots of the Seminoles people invented disco while having sex under the influence of cocaine. It is a shame upon my race. But what is done is done.
Our electrochemistry probably loves the idea of having sex under the influence of cocaine, but it's not chiming in at the moment.
I am not surprised you enjoy it so much. This has happened to many of the side products of the inevitable cultural victory of the Seminoles race.
Okay, let me have a look. Oh, yeah, I was right. It brought us moralist up by 1. It's the fourth thing. It's the none of the above centrist option that we just picked. It wasn't really mysterious insofar that it was, I don't have an opinion on these things. And at some point, one of our thoughts is probably going to chime up to say something about that. I can't wait for that. Okay, Measurehead. Who are the Seminoles?
The South Island race, haplogroup A4A. We are the rightful masters of the Insulindian archipelago. We descend from the Areopagites of ancient Pericarnassus and arrived here 4,000 years ago. Millennia before you. We are the future. That is all you need to know.
So you were born and raised on the islands before you moved to Revachol.
I am a descendant. The narrow streets of Ulimbuir are with me in my genetic dreams. I see young Seminoles women walk into the grey mass on Ile de Fantôme, waiting on immaculate conception from the pale.
So you did not come from the islands?
No. I have heard about it on the radio.
Ah, I see.
We would be appreciative if you did not further chase this line of inquiry in front of the women.
How could we not proceed with this inquiry? So you're not really Seminoles, you're just from Revachol.
I'm from Couronne. And no, it is not just in Revachol. The city is central to the Seminoles strategy, Spreading through its trade networks, our culture will dominate the world. You have heard enough about our phylogenetic secrets for today. You have extinction to come to terms with, and never getting into the harbor.
That is a problem, because we need to get into the harbor to interrogate Everard Clare, the Union boss. Kim, what are your thoughts about all of this?
I think this racist is better than the last, but the next racist will be the really good one.
That will be the...
That will be the what, chat? This is the one conceptualization wants us to say. But what do you think we should say to this? Chat is agreeing with conceptualization. That will be our lucky racist.
He will grant us 3 wishes.
Your pedomorphic friend has quick wits, a protruding occiput, and an indented zygomatic bone.
He's making all this up as he goes along, isn't he?
The lieutenant does not flinch.
You should keep him close. The congenital defect of farsightedness does not render him a complete invalid. He still has the use of his mind.
Oh, right, we did find the mug in the trash, the racist mug. Do you know anything about this mug?
He does not so much as glance at the object.
This your kind of thing?
Stop showing me your pathetic cup. I have no interest in it.
He had nothing to do with it. Does he strike you as the kind of man who puts mugs into trash?
Good point, physical instrument. He is covered in tattoos. If you look at his model, he's got a lot of those. Let's ask about the tattoos from the racist behemoth.
Racists are generally not very good examples of their race.
He gestures towards the lorryman down the street. You know, the one that's no longer there. I think we were supposed to talk to Measurehead way earlier than this, but we didn't.
I am not like them. I am craniometric perfection. I have taken the trouble to permanently draw a phrenologic grid on my skull and features. This should dispel any doubt.
Yes, the the phrenologic tattoos you've drawn on your hand should dispel any doubt of your superiority, shouldn't it?
True. That is a noble cranium, but you got a hard noggin yourself.
I like that we're a weakling, but physical instrument is our signature skill, so it's chiming in all the time. You sure I'm not craniometrically superior to you?
You exhibit forward projection of the jaw, indicative of schizophrenia and sexual inaccountability.
Oh fuck, here we go again.
From a purely aesthetic standpoint, the dimple in your jaw makes you look like a baby. This is not craniometry, just an observation.
What else can you draw from my physical features?
It is impossible to see any more of your bone structure. It is covered in the ravages of Al-Ghul. From what remain of your features, I can see fleshy lips, baldness of the head, and long arms relative to lower limbs. This leads me to conclude you are not a police officer. You are a common criminal, an offspring of murderers and sailors from Sur-la-Clé and Vesper, and possibly even the degenerate sheep herders of Ubi.
Interesting. So, one of my ancestors was through La Cliff, and the other Vesper.
Your racial heritage is uninteresting. It is the same as all Rivasholians. Your parents and their parents made the decision to reproduce while under the influence of Al-Ghul. That is the only reason you are here.
He's right there. It's almost impossible to get it on unless you're both drunk. It's too scary when people are sober.
Thank you, drug brain. Okay, we have a high conceptualization, so we could subscribe to his advanced race theory. Unless I have no other options. I'm not gonna do that. Even if we know we could do it under the guise of drama, perhaps. Pretend that we thought about it. Our other option is to knock him out at 28%. It's not looking very good. Perhaps we should leave it hanging.
To the harbor. There's an interview to conduct. There must be another way.
His gaze wanders over the whirling's roof to the yard. Well, here's the door that needs to be opened. We cannot open it. Measurehead's in the way, and we either have to subscribe to his race theory or knock him out. Besides that, it's past midnight. Most everybody is asleep. And we're still blasting our boombox because that's the kind of thing responsible police officers do. Let's see. Do we have anything else to do for the evening, or should we call it a night? We got the closed water lock quest just now. We need to find the traffic hooligan. That's not gonna happen until we've closed the water lock. Whirling secret passages. Investigate Dupe commercial area. I suppose, you know, there is one thing we could do. When it's getting late, we should be going to sleep maybe, and maybe have that debrief with Kim. But before we do, we have 3 skill points. We could attribute those across the board. And I do believe that we have our damaged ledger, which we threw in the trash.
It's the ledger you found in the trash. A cabbage of papers hanging from the board, with the permeables drawer inside. It's barely held together by a clip, then made complete by the faint smell of urinal cleaner.
I have to correct myself. We found it in the trash. We actually threw it in the toilet. Oh boy. Interfacing for 58% to open the hidden compartment in the clipboard. I wish it were higher, because this is kind of an important check. We don't really have anything to improve our... Oh wait, we do have the yellow gardening gloves. That would make it easier to open that compartment. So if we were to put those on and see about it then...
It's the ledger you found in the trash. A cabbage of papers hanging from the board, with the permeables drawer inside. It's barely held together by...
It's at 72%.
By the
But
faint smell of urinal cleaner.
maybe the chat can improve our motorics to get a little bit, to get +1 to interfacing. Maybe we'll be able to actually open the secret compartment. It's been bugging us for a while now. We tried opening it earlier, and we actually are given -1 to it because one of the thoughts we internalized long way home. In any case, maybe the chat wants to give us a boost to motorics to improve our interfacing. Maybe we'll be able to open this up. Well, I had to heal, at the very least. I think somebody took away from my physique, but it's at 83. Let's do it.
Just relax. The two sides of the board are slightly misaligned, like a drawer that's come off the slides. All you need to do is bend the plastic on your knee, slowly. The slides snap back into place. It should be possible to just,
Slide the drawer open.
Without resistance or sound, the two panels move against each other. The compartment is now open.
What's inside?
2 ticket stubs and a handmade postcard.
Pick up the ticket stubs.
2 octopuses are smiling, reaching their tentacles toward each other in the colored pencil drawings. The tickets permit access to the zoo in Revachol East. The aquarium costs extra. These let you go there too.
Pick up the card.
Thin wax paper has been glued to a piece of cardboard. Sounds like leaves rustling when you pick it up. You see violet flowers, floral patterns, patches of glue.
Smell it first.
It smells of chewing gum, apricot flavored. A touch of cinnamon, the end of summer. You think the label says tutti frutti.
Open it.
Familiar handwriting lines the inside of the card. Looped, round letters in a woman's hand. A young woman in her 20s. There is care, effort, and a smile, you think. Although that is not something you can read from someone's handwriting. Harry, it begins. You're already reading. I wanted to write you a letter so you can read it when you wake up. Maybe it will make you happy.
Keep reading.
Your hand shakes, holding the card. Every morning when I step out and you're asleep behind me, it says, I find a little piece of sadness in me. I carry it in my chest, down Voyager Road. Every step I take, it grows. By the time I reach the fuel station, it has filled me entirely. I step onto the light rail and look back. Sparks fall from the bow collector. I know it will be like this until late afternoon, when I get off the 42 and walk back to you.
Keep reading.
You. Every step I take will get lighter. It almost makes me run. Sometimes I do. I can't believe I met you. I can't believe the happiness I feel with you. You have a vast, vast soul, and I will always, always, always come back to it.
Keep reading.
Kisses, kisses, kisses. You feel the air sucked out of your lungs and the blood sucked out of your head. Everything around you gets dark. Small white dots appear. You feel the ledger slip from your hand. No, hold on.
Hold on.
To what? There's nothing.
Oh no.
Detective, is everything all right?
There is nothing. Again.
Nothing?
Nothing sad, brother. No treachery, just blackout.
Just lie there, passed out.
Well, almost nothing. There is the ground below you, that's still there. And the small light that's on, fluttering, somewhere in the basal ganglia.
Who's that?
That's me. Blue eyes, that's me.
And who was that?
Who was what?
He speaks of the sickening longing, the unwell emotion.
Even in the darkness, he's grasping for it. Still trying to hold on to the great sorrows slipping in the water. Slimy.
No, I was cool. I'm cool.
The cool when you're dead, brother.
Here in the paleo-mammalian cortex, we call it the shadow. Because it's always there.
Was that the X something? The...
Bloated corpse of the past resurfacing.
Yes, that.
Don't prod at it. It will start moving again.
Where's Voyager Road?
There is no Voyager Road. There are no roads, no houses, no lights in the windows. It's all on pause.
Just lie there motionless.
You think they would let you? Until you disintegrate into biomolecules? No. Someone is breathing on your face now, inspecting your pupils, stupid idiot.
What is that? It's cold.
Yes, they're pouring something on you. It's in you. And
It's delicious. Glowing lights on a dashboard emerge out of nothingness.
Where am I?
In the upholstered cabin of Lieutenant Kitsuragi's motor carriage, seated in the driver's basket. The air is thick with leatherworks and heavy fuel oil. Cold water runs down your chin.
Drink. Water.
The lieutenant is extending a small canister to your mouth. Drink.
The water is cold, silvery, the stuff of life itself as it pours down your parched throat. The pounding in your head recedes. The darkness parts.
Drink. You haven't drunk water in 2 days. Did you know the human body is not made to survive on alcohol alone? You need a secondary form of hydration.
We just did drink a beer, and we haven't drank any water so far. That's a fair point. Let's drink.
With greedy gulps, you down half a liter of cold water. Some of it spills on the driver's seat. The lieutenant pays no heed to it.
What happened?
I came in contact with the burnt out ruins of the past, Lieutenant.
That does sometimes happen.
He hands you the remains of your ledger.
He replies with such understanding, it's as if the burnt-out ruins of the past were an occupational hazard. Athlete's foot for cops.
You dropped these. Are you okay to proceed?
Let's solve this case.
Good.
The Ledger of Failure and Hatred is a special item that can be used both as an interactable and a tool equipped in your held slot for skill bonuses. Find it under the Tools tab in your inventory.
Well, now that we actually read through the book, our ledger, we can now hold it in our hand. No, wait, why doesn't it? Oh, there it is. Okay, we got it. This is the same ledger you found in the trash, only worse somehow. It makes you think about the letter, about the woman's handwriting, about not wanting to get out of bed in the morning. It gives us +1 Inland Empire, +1 Empathy, but -2 to Authority. Our Authority would be at 1 if we were to ever equip that. But it would boost our empathy. Would boost our empathy, and it's really hard to get this Inland Empire. We're not going to be equipping it right now, I suppose. We have read through that. We did pick up Per Holidon before from Roy. So okay, we just read through a letter which made us faint, and the game just kind of went back to the titular screen. I think I attempted that check on my first in the first stream, and I failed it. I wanted it to be like this huge, you know, first episode double intro thing, but we didn't get it. We didn't get the check. It didn't happen. We failed it. And as such, we didn't get to see that before, but we did now. That was a big reveal, a huge moment for me when I played the game. It happened early on, but we didn't get it this playthrough. Regardless, we have some other checks here. This coin-operated viewer has been banged up, inoperable.
The sight of bullet holes stirs something in you, making you forget the lieutenant's surname.
Look closer first.
The faded marks are too degraded to draw any forensic conclusions. Just chips in the sandstone. They look pretty ancient.
Kim, look, bullet holes.
Where?
Someone's been shot. We're cops. We should solve it.
There? Those are old.
Oh, you mean like from the revolution?
Yes, the one that happened half a century ago. Those bullets were fired during the revolution and do not warrant an investigation by officers of civil law.
Okay, what can you tell me about this revolution?
Not much. I don't have a fresh perspective on it. Shall we go?
Maybe we shall. This guy's still here. He's been here for a while. Yeah, we already went through all these options. He doesn't have a lot to say.
This coin-operated viewer is facing southwest. Its coin slot is full of fossilized bubblegum, rendering the machine permanently inaccessible.
Poor little viewer.
The metal feels cold and wet under your palm. It looks unhygienic.
Vandalism.
Probably some kids.
The lieutenant inspects the rigged slot.
A simple but clever solution to ruin in a coin-operated viewer. It took ingenuity.
Look inside.
A thick layer of graffito covers the lenses. You spell out the word Onuk written on the other side, with N and C scribbled backwards.
That doesn't mean anything to me. Shift your focus to the background.
Under the graffito, a sea of blues and greys appear. Behind the water lies a coast, studded with concrete and reeds. On it, a church on stilts, lanky weather-worn wooden planks, an X-shaped cross topping its tower. You know this to be the Star of Pericarnassus, or the Cairo, the central symbol of the Pericarnassian Church, a star, a great moral height to be strived towards. The church looks old and weather-worn. There are no lights in the windows. Around the large wooden building you see chunks of sea ice gathered on the beach, and a small tent set up on the ice.
That's it?
This coin-operated viewer is facing south. The instruction manual says to insert 25 centimes and pull the handle while looking inside. Then use the focus knob to zoom in if necessary.
Well, it's only 0.25 real. Let's insert a coin.
Your money disappears into the coin slot. A clunk, the ring of metal.
Pull the handle and look inside.
The curtains on the display open. You lean in to catch the view. It's blurry, different blues and greens. In the middle of the shimmer stands a drab grey shape, like a ghost.
Turn the knob to focus our vision.
The lenses shift. The ghost sharpens into an islet in the bay. In the ruins, a man-made structure is visible, a half-sunken sea fort, its concrete almost reconquered by nature. It looks as if it was abandoned quite some time ago. Nothing but a rotten tooth remains of the anti-aircraft tower. A lonely birch tree grows out of it.
there are ruins of some kind of building there.
Really? I don't have the eyesight to make it out.
The lieutenant takes off his glasses and cleans them. Not much came of that, at least so far. What are these? To Roundabout North? To Cape Side Apartments, Martinez Pier. Well, at this point it's getting very late. Oh, our boombox just fired it up all of a sudden. What's going on? Let's look at this. The belly of this boat shines like it was recently painted. I suppose we have spoken with some of the drivers, with some of the lorry drivers. So perhaps if we spoke to Choice about that, maybe she's still up. Maybe she has something new to tell us.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with at this late hour?
It's night. Don't you ever sleep?
Matter of fact, I don't.
She takes another sip. Why is that?
I have a medical condition of my own. Nothing unusual, though. I'm old, you see.
That's good. This way you can answer me some questions.
Of course. That's what I'm here for.
I spoke with the lorryman at the roundabout.
Word has traveled, yes, but nothing of real substance has surfaced yet, I gather. Wild Pines has eyes on the intersection, but not ears.
One of the tall buildings overlooking the roundabout. It would give them a read on the entire quarter.
It appears we are being monitored every step we take, colleague. Did we have any other business here?
Perhaps we'll leave the questions about reality for a little bit later. Thank you, that's all for now.
This Post Lavantorie mail collection box has been heavily vandalized with graffito. A closer inspection reveals 2 bullet holes in the front.
And should we pat it or should we kick it? I think chat can decide this one for us. I think I know the result though. Yeah, who could have thought? Fuck you, mail delivery box.
There is a hollow, saddened ring as you kick the Lavantorie mail collection box. It sounds betrayed, in disbelief even. Your toe has suffered damage. It hurts.
Ow.
Cool. You really showed that mail collection box.
He does not actually think it's cool. If anything, the lieutenant feels sorry for the poor box. He's leaning in to inspect the layers of graffito that deface it.
Oh, you're being sarcastic. I get it. It was actually a dick move.
The lieutenant pats the box, ever so slightly.
Let's pat it right back. Good mail delivery box. I'm sorry for kicking you.
The mail collection box has no faith in your psychopathic manipulations.
Let's leave. Alright. I was not actually expecting that. Can we maybe examine this again?
You see a set of tire tracks in the
We cannot. We still cannot do anything about that. It is getting late. Perhaps we should call it a night. At long last. Oh, The man who was sleeping here has actually left. I believe we missed the chance to try to wake him up forcefully. That could be bad later on. In any case, Gart, I have your money.
Can I help you?
About the money I owe.
Yes. Have you got it?
I have your money.
Well?
Here's 60 real. Slam the bills. Hope you choke on it. Here it is. Sorry for the trouble. Yeah, I'm gonna regret this. Chat, what should we say? How should we deal with this? As expected. Hope you choke on it.
Great. Perfect. I hope you enjoy your freezing cold room with the window you broke yourself.
You've really worn down his patience. Even paying him didn't help.
The electronic lock to your room has been disabled till 9 p.m. tomorrow. Starting tomorrow, please pay for each night in advance. 20 real per night. If you don't have the money, it's over for you. Got it? You've got nowhere else to stay.
Time stops advancing after 2 in the morning. If you haven't paid for your room by then, it's game over. Don't leave finding money to the last minute, however. It's harder to make cash after nightfall when the shops are closed and the streets empty.
So what this is, it's telling us we're gonna need 20 real by tomorrow night, 2 a.m. latest. And yes, it is a soft lock if you don't get that money.
I'll take a room here too.
He opens his wallet.
Always happy to have officers from the RCM as guests. Anything else I can do for you?
He looks at the lieutenant, avoiding our gaze. I've seen something here at the Whirling Guard. A thing I need to talk about.
What thing?
I saw a sign that said the mess hall is reserved for the Union.
Yes, not the whole damn Union, thank God. Just the nastiest and loudest faction.
He tosses his head in disdain.
They come here in the evenings. Dumb, unruly types. Think they're big shit. But they're good customers. They place big orders and always pay on time.
That wasn't loaded at all.
We should find out who this Lord faction is, occupying the booth. Loudness means talkative, and we need info.
He gives you a meaningful nod. We also got a new quest. How do we find them?
We don't. We have to wait. They'll show up sooner or later. Men get hungry, even striking men. If not today, then they'll be here tomorrow.
Guard, there's a mysterious blue steel door in the back of the kitchen.
Oh yes, that door, sure. There's nothing mysterious about it. It's just a door.
Do you know what's behind it? Do you have...
No, I don't have a key. I don't know how to get there. And I don't care either. It's not like I've been wondering about it for 10 years. It's just a frit warehouse, probably. Or some boring storage space with a bunch of old junk and dust. Junk and dust.
He runs his finger across the counter to check for dirt.
He's attempting to maintain an air of indifference. It's absolutely not convincing.
I think you'd like to know what's back there.
Fine, okay, a little. But my job doesn't leave me time for wondering about one locked door in one of the cafeterias I manage.
Yes, because you're a serious cafeteria manager.
So, I haven't opened it. I have cleaned the whole place 100 times over, though, after the animals. And I haven't found a key, so good luck with that.
Well, I guess that's it.
What?
By the way, you should come back to this thing-based questionnaire if you see anything interesting in the Whirling later.
Thank you, reaction speed. If we see anything in the Whirling, we can bring it up to Gart. Well, Gart, I talked to Sylvie. She left because of me, not you.
Wait, what? But what about the bird?
He looks up surprised. The bird?
Yes, the bird. I found it lying on the floor with a broken wing the morning she left.
She said, no, I'm not gonna say that. She didn't break it, I did. I threw it against the wall.
You broke the skewer!
His face is flushed with emotions. A rash covers his neck.
I assure you it was him.
Why on earth did you have to break the skewer?
I don't have a good answer to this. Chat, do you have a good answer to this? I don't. Maybe I have a vendetta against the stupid fucking bird.
I can't believe it. I was so sure it was Sylvie. Even worse, I thought she was trying to send me a message. Symbol of hope and all.
A tender type of hope. Something stirs in you. Perhaps this is why you broke it.
Huh. So a skua is a symbol of hope. Is that what it's telling us? And because of hope, we broke it? Because we are hopeless? I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into this.
All right. Did she say anything else? About me, you know? Did she say anything about me?
I like the second one, but honestly, I've been such a dick to Gart. Let's just say the truth. She said she was flattered. It was just a bad timing.
Really? I should give her a call then.
The man doesn't know what to say. He wipes his brow and stares at the counter.
Thanks, I guess. Was there anything else you wanted, or...?
Or can you give him a moment? Somehow you realize this is not going to net you any professional discounts. Already he's reverting back to defensive.
By the way, Gart, I'm gonna sing karaoke here.
Absolutely out of the question.
Absolutely in the question. First we find a sad banger. Then we sing this place to shit. Your body is ready, sire.
But Gart won't let us. So there's that. Maybe a little bit later then. We did gain a thought before. After looking at the ledger, I think we should read through it. It's called White Morning. -1 authority. Little guy gets further and further away. Research time 5 hours. You see yourself from above. You're passed out on the blue tiles of the hostel room floor. Even from this distance, you can see your eyelids flutter. At the mention of what? A great white object letting out its sweet smell like a lily of the valley. The little man's forgotten its name, but he still remembers the feeling. And look, he moves. The feeling animates him. He instinctively reaches out for the feeling's best friend, a bottle of Commodore Red. He puts on his disco clothes and gets smaller and smaller. So that is another thought we could internalize. We don't have any room for these, but at this point it looks as if we have 5 skill points to spend. And I do believe that unlocking one for the thoughts is not a bad idea. We started internalizing Some Long Way Home in the very first episode, I believe. It's currently at 81%. We should probably start... We should continue internalizing that. It's going to happen eventually. We should have done that earlier. Besides that, before we end the day, let's see about our skills. We still have 4 skill points to distribute across the board. Physical instrument is our signature skill, even though our physique is really low. It's already got a point in it. I don't think we need to boost that specifically. What could we use? Like, let's think about this for a second. What have we done? We have asked people for money. We've discovered all sorts of things. Our conceptualization is already chiming in to the point where we don't really need to boost that at anytime soon. What have we failed? We failed a logic check, and we're an intelligent person. I think... Yeah, this is some kind of superstar that gives us -1. So maybe we'll just level that right up. We're still a very intellectual person. Logic plays a part in that. I think we should improve our logic. Next, we are very political. We have been extremely political. And rhetoric has been chiming in, so perhaps we should put a point in rhetoric. As for the rest of this, let's see. There are several good options. There are no bad options, basically. But... savoir-faire is at 1. Bonus from items -2. That it means it's at 3. 3 is the base. A little bird just sang in my ear that we should maybe, perhaps. I had a gut feeling about improving Inland Empire all of a sudden. I don't know where it's coming from, but yeah, let's maybe do that. And that leaves us with 1 skill point. Maybe we'll let that simmer for a little bit. We'll accept these changes. We're done with improving our character for the time being. There's a reason I'm holding off on spending the last point. We'll get to that eventually. It's very late. It's so late. We've been doing this policing for a while now. I think we deserve a rest.
This is the door to the room you redecorated.
Good light, good light, Lieutenant.
Just a moment. You had some questions earlier, I believe. And besides, we should discuss our progress on the investigation. Let's go out to the balcony.
All right, let's do that. This would be the debrief that Kim mentioned before, or rather, the one we asked him to do.
The air outside is brisk. The lieutenant is silent for a moment. He listens to the traffic hum. Then...
I was really worried if we were going to crash there. Then...
Where shall we begin? We should talk about the investigation, first and foremost. But I also remember you wanting to discuss the RCM?
He lights a cigarette. I didn't know you smoked, Kim.
I have a cigarette every night when I go over my notes. It's something of a ritual.
Oh man, he looks so devastatingly cool with that cigarette.
Yeah, a cigarette is such a great idea. I think I'm gonna have one too.
Your call, Detective. Again, I only have exactly one every night.
He blows a steady stream of smoke. I can't equip my cigarettes though. I would love to have a cigarette right now, but I can't equip it at the moment. How did you get so cool, Kim?
You mean this? This isn't cool. It's an unnecessary trial of will, and unhealthy.
He flicks the ash.
Yet, were he to quit, he would lose the cool factor. This man relishes his cool quite a bit below it all.
Right then, the debrief.
Yes, it's been a long and eventful day.
How do you think today went?
We performed a thorough initial inspection of the victim's body, so that's good. One could say it's the main thing to do in a murder. Then you shut the body down. which was quite a shot.
Let's leave this up for the chat. Damn straight, I'm a sharp shooting cop. It was nothing really, I was just doing my job. I was inspired by your confidence in me, Kim. I just can't wait to shoot more shit. I think I was born with a gun in my hands. What shall we say? Aww, for once, Chad, you're being kind. I was inspired by your confidence in me, Kim.
I admit I wasn't sure whether I should give you the gun, but I'm glad I did. Your shot enabled us to perform a field autopsy on the victim. We found some things we can really work with. I still feel like we're missing something, but we performed a thorough search of the premises of the crime scene. That's great.
He's right. You could smell it. That something is missing, even under the overpowering odor of the corpse.
Now, as for interviews, my list of people to talk to here in Martinez, I mean.
He takes a deep drag and looks at the city. Okay, again, this is where we form our cop-o-type. So, what do you think we should say? That's my forte. Unlike most cops, I understand how important communication is in our line of work. It's true, we're pretty empathic. We have a pretty good suggestion. This works out. I love doing interviews, and people love me. They love bathing in my glory. This is the superstar cop in us. The initial interviews, yes. Well, we talked to some people. This is a pretty boring option. I wish we didn't have to do any of the interviews. People are treacherous. What shall we say for interviews? Kim, I'm a superstar. I love doing interviews, and people love me. They love bathing in my glory.
I hope your confidence will translate into results, officer.
Oh, you will see.
We weren't able to find the union leader, Everard Clare, much less interview him. So that's on the to-do list for tomorrow.
Yeah, we didn't get to the harbor yet.
We tried to interview the Wild Pines rep, but she asked us to do something for her first. Fine, so be it. I have a feeling Joyce knows how dangerous the situation really is. We have to get her to talk to us.
He purses his lips.
If Kim is emphasizing something this much, it really must be important.
Well, it's a good thing we spoke to her at the very least, then.
Above all, though, today was exhausting. What's with all the running? You run a lot. Is that a standard Precinct 41 practice?
I have a really good theory about why you're running so fast, son. Just you wait until we get up tomorrow.
Oh, that's electrochemistry saying that. I don't like where this is going. Okay, again, I'm just gonna ask Chad a lot of these, because this is just kind of end of day one. We're forming the cop we are. I don't like to waste time, you know. My mind moves fast, the rest has to try to keep up. I'm training for a long distance run. I want to raise money for a charity. Yeah, that's just how we roll in Precinct 41, which apparently where we're from, we don't really remember any of that. I don't know why I do the things I do, Lieutenant Kitsuragi. Again, just the boring option, in case you're wondering. What do you think we should say? Nothing. Okay. Oh, that's fine. We are pretty intellectual. Maybe we should point this out. Yeah, I don't like to waste time, you know. My mind moves fast. The rest has to try to keep up.
It's impressive, especially for a man your age. And in those hills.
He nods thoughtfully, tapping his finger on his cigarette.
Nice shoes, by the way. I like the green. Goes with the orange.
He looks at your snakeskin shoes and smiles suddenly. So what are our powers exactly? The RCM?
They're quite limited, actually. The power officers of the Revachol Citizens Militia exercise most frequently is imposing fines of up to 1,000 real for offenses, in accordance with an interdepartmental schedule.
1,000? Why not more?
The RCM's primary role is to ensure safety. We are not really supposed to play any part in the economic structure of Revachol.
Wouldn't that be an easy power to abuse?
Yes, although indirectly, as citizens can always request records from their local station. Officers of the RCM have been known to take bribes of less than the prescribed fine amount. It undermines trust in the RCM.
This is to say, if we're to take bribes, Kim's probably not gonna like it. We've already asked a lot of people for money at this point, because we're poor as balls. Okay, what else?
We can arrest people, of course, but rather than bringing someone in directly, it's preferable to serve a station call slip. It prevents confusion and overcrowding.
Is there a way to make sure the arrestee will show up if we give him one of these station call slips?
You can't. Those who don't show up become fugitives, though, and have fewer legal rights when they are eventually caught. It's about power projection. Thus far, they seem to mostly show up.
I see. And if someone resists?
As you may have gathered from the fact that we are expected to carry a record of our kills, like the one in your watermarks, we are permitted to use whatever force is necessary, and strongly admonished not to abuse that power.
See, if we didn't read our watermarks, we wouldn't have this little bit here. They account for a lot of these little bits of information, or things that you just gone through the dialogue. You probably don't pick that up if you're watching this or if you're playing it for the first time, but having played this several times, there are so many of these little things, it's almost phenomenal. Wait, so if I kill someone while on duty...
You have to supply compelling evidence for why it was necessary to use lethal force. In these cases, your partner is usually your witness. Not a good position to be in, by the way. Internal Affairs handles these cases thoroughly, by cross-examining you for inconsistencies. It is hard to cover for anyone, which is for the best.
What happens to the people we convict?
We don't convict. We arrest and send them to coalition government courts in Couron and La Delta. The prosecution works off our testimonies and records, which is why it's paramount to keep them.
He taps on his coat pocket where he keeps his notes. Who makes all these rules?
The coalition government and the moral intern, more broadly. The RCM was formed by the coalition government to restore order in the international zone after the revolution. So we did. Now we attempt to maintain that order. No more, no less.
His gaze is absently fixed on a window below that just went dark.
Or perhaps it is better to say we were allowed to form. It's a point of contention whether the citizens of Revachol or the coalition government founded the RCM.
Well, what shall we say, Chad? Let's say it was the citizens of Revachol. Or was it the coalition government? Or shall we say nothing? What's our stance on this, knowing nothing about the world? No reply. Let's say nothing.
Silence. A great comment to such a conundrum.
I think we just got a... No, we didn't get a moralist point, actually. The moral intern. What is it?
The Moralist International are the world's largest political organization. You know who they are. They have been running this place after the revolution failed.
Look, Kim, you know very well that I drank so hard I lost my memory. If I didn't know, how would you describe the Moralist International?
They're a union of center-left and center-right parties across the Real Belt. Our coalition government is just one of its many projects. They also run the ICP, EPIS, most intergovernmental organizations in the world.
None of those things mean anything to me. I suppose if we had higher encyclopedia, I would chime in, but we don't. What do they believe in?
What do they believe in? They are Dolorians. They believe they continue the humanist project set forth by Her Innocence Dolores Day 4 centuries ago. Others say they are just technocrats.
Those others say they continue the humanist project set forth by Dolores Day.
Dolores Day. Who was Dolores Day?
A historic figure? The author of the modern age? You will have to look elsewhere for opinions. The subject of humanism is too abstract for me.
Will do. I'm sure we'll be asking around for asking about Dolores Day from everybody we come across. What is their symbol?
Interesting question. It's a blue forget-me-not. Their motto is love, compassion, self-discipline. I think you can gauge what they want you to think of them from that.
Something kind and usual. Something almost self-explanatory. Something ominous. Something even a little feminine, but in a strict manner.
Thank you, Electrochemistry, for that little chiming in. What do you think of them, Kim?
The moral intern are a fact. I try not to have opinions on facts until they change. And it doesn't look like that's about to happen.
I have an opinion on the moral intern, Kim.
Do you?
The lieutenant arches his brow, then pulls on his cigarette. It's a slim white thing in his fingers. Things are bad out there. We need them here, giving us the right to police Revachol. They've done an awful job here. Have you seen the place? This isn't humanism. We are stooges of the world's biggest bourgeois organization protecting bourgeois rights. Immigrants, liberal kids, fucking men are turning into women. On second thought, I don't have an opinion. Forget about that. Oh boy. Chat, what shall we say? About what's our stance on the moral intern? I'm a little bit worried every time I click this button, but let's go for it. I hate all of you. Immigrants, liberal kids, fucking men are turning into women. Okay, let me just, okay, here it is. Fascist 2. So once we pick that option.
Well phrased. I understand answering to foreign powers doesn't sit well with immigrant bashing, but without the EMI, we would be common vigilantes. That's just the way it is.
Yep. Yeah, that was the fascist option for all of you in the chat who chose that. That was the fascist option. I hope you're happy with yourselves. Maybe we should make our own law.
Spoken like a revolutionary, not a cop. But hypothetical aside, in Martinez we already are vigilantes. At least the Union thinks so. I expect our job here to prove quite challenging.
Say nothing. Just look into the night.
The dying lights of the city shimmer below. Slowly, like luminous clouds, they pass on his lenses. The lieutenant looks at his slim cigarette, contemplating the next drag. This soldier is the highlight of the day for me, he thinks. This little stick right here,
They really don't like us here. The Union, the teenagers too. It's different in land. In Jamrock and the GRIH.
He pulls on his cigarette. Why are they like this?
It's our fault for leaving this place to the dogs, to the Union, to the company, not daring to come here more often. It's like I told you, this place is an orphan, fallen between the cracks.
And in Jamrock and the GRIH, which stands for Greater Revachol Industrial Harbor.
We run this city. West of the river is RCM land.
He looks at the dark silhouette of the equestrian monument cutting into the night sky.
It's incredibly hard. Human beings are... But we are in control, and it's worth it. The organization works. Our systems work. If they didn't, the city would disintegrate.
I would like to think that our investigation will improve the situation, but I'm also a cynic art cop, so this is probably what I'm thinking about. But again, let's form our capo type here with chat. What do we think of this? We're being positive, optimistic about it. I hope our investigation will improve the situation here, at least do some good.
Me too. But I wouldn't count on any drastic changes in our lifetimes.
Thank you for this, Kim.
Yeah, it's getting very cold now. Let's go.
He puts out the stub of his cigarette and looks to the door. It is getting late. It is 1:23 a.m. It's time for Johnny Thundercop Raphael Ambrosius Cousteau to go to sleep. Maybe contemplate about the events of the day. I don't think there's anything we can really pursue at this moment. We do have to find out who's in the Union box, but that's not going to happen tonight. We have to accumulate 20 real for tomorrow evening to pay guard for the rent. So we need 9 real and 13 cents to actually keep living here. But for right now, it is late. Perhaps we should call it a night. Yep. See you, Kim. Well, time to go to sleep. Without even closing the door, without even taking our clothes off, we're gonna have a rest.
The bed is cold and not particularly inviting, but it's yours. The sheets look awful.
Yes, we have the option to go to sleep right now. We could do that, but we did buy some books. Oh, we bought the map of Martinez a long time ago. We never took a look at that. A Warden tour map of the Martinez area dating from 48, so 3 years ago. A title on the top reads, Bienvenue à Revachol. It's a bit out of date, as it was originally created by a design studio in a failed attempt to spruce up Martinez and turn it into a fancy tourist location. We'd never interacted with this for whatever reason. Let's do it now. We may as well before we head on to sleep.
The worn map features the patchwork grid of the streets of Martinez, with directions to appropriately touristy locations. Year 48 resides on the upper right corner.
Trace a path to the grid.
Your finger moves through the various streets, across Rue de Saint-Ghislain and Rue Saint-Sipar, over Saint-Brun and Martinez North. finally coming to a halt on the spot where you are currently standing, although the map gives no such indication itself.
For a more detailed view of the map, go to your journal and select the Map tab.
See, we should have done that from the get-go. Let's put it away. Let's have a look here. Yeah, here's the map. Here we have it. This is where we're staying, where it says mirror. Right over here. This is the Whirling in Rags. It's the Martinez waterfront. And we did locate the church and the shacks through some of the binocs here. But we haven't been able to go there, of course, because somebody, Jacob Irv, presumably, has broken the sign right here. We have a lot of stuff to do. We could read a book, but I think we're pretty tired. We're pretty worn out. Maybe it's time to head to sleep.
The bed is cold and not particularly inviting, but it's yours. The sheets look awful.
Crawl in.
The sheets feel at once coarse and clammy against your skin. The bed sags beneath your weight as you stretch out and finally close your eyes. And then sleep doesn't come. And then sleep doesn't come.
But I want to sleep.
Obviously, you're in bed with your eyes closed, but it's not happening.
Why?
Maybe it's the bed's fault.
Check the pillow.
Its synthetic filling has separated into hard lumps. The pillowcase smells oddly.
Check the blanket.
It barely covers your toes, stretching over your soft belly. This is your body here, intimate and warm, breathing. Under your thrumming eyelids, you see a dizzying array of colors. You won't get off this carousel quite so easily.
Roll over to the other side.
It's a little better. Colors, scenes, and half-formed phrases still litter your mind. Part of you is still trying to solve the case, isn't it?
Who killed him? Who?
Something to do with... What was it that the lieutenant said? Union? And it's gone again. Your thoughts lost between the slowing brain waves.
No more thoughts. Just fall asleep.
Your breathing steadies. A great silence washes over you until your eyelids twitch in your sleep and images start forming.
Of your childhood.
What is this?
What it says on the can, Harry. Answer the question.
I was born in a hospital where people usually go to die.
You're not kidding anyone, Harry. You don't remember shit. Tell me, do you remember your wife's hand on your face?
Tell me what this is. I'm not answering before you tell me who you are.
You know who I am. I'm the bad day. The one where you ask her, and then later in the streets wandering. It's the worst day of all time, Harry dear. And it's coming. She will hear about it on the phone. Reality will turn into a grotesque nightmare. This'll be the last thing you did to her. Tell me, do you remember the love of your life?
You said... who?
Do you remember the warmth of her thighs, between her legs and in her mouth?
I was left.
That's right, funky baby. And you just stood there. One hand on the bottle and the other on your dick. Watching her go. Let it all be dragged away from you. Tell me, where are your friends? Human beings have friends, Harry boy. Where the hell are yours?
I can't get it all back.
No, it's gone. 3 times gone and never coming back. You failed. You failed me. You failed Elysium.
What is Elysium?
Everything. The Pale and the Isolas on the surface. The outer magnetosphere. Burning, furious truth. 8,000 years of written history. You really dropped the ball, Harry. 4.6 billion people, and you failed every single one of them. You really fucked up.
I've seen you before.
No, you haven't. You're just sleep talking, and the act is wearing thin too. The spots on the disco ball fade around you. You'll be back in those cold snakeskins in no time, sweating up the bed. Stinky boy.
I can come back from this.
You're not coming back from shit. Thrashing around in that high conductivity state of yours, bumping into things and acting like a clown? Who are you kidding?
I'm trying to solve this case.
You're trying to what? I can't hear you. This is just a word dream now. Jumbled up garbage. The pictures are gone. The bed rises to meet you. A thin, sleep-like state. More glass than velvet, grinding in your head.
So something is wrong. Sleep shouldn't be this bad, this dry, this unnourishing. There's something wrong with your thoughts. Some kind of new type of hangover.
God, there's another type?
Oh yes, party boy, and it's worse than the one before. Just think of the shit you saw. Here it comes too, so soon already. A silent alarm goes off in your head like clockwork, barely let you sleep at all. Time to get those clothes on, Harry. Time to go to work in the shit factory.
Good morning, Blip.
Good going, buddy.
Oh my god, what the hell was that?
Oh, just a dream. You have ones like that all the time. You feel even worse this morning than you did last night.
What the hell is going on with me?
You mean, why are you so tired? Too tired and down to even think? It is worrying, isn't it? You can't be a detective like this. Detectives need to be able to think.
Why is this happening?
It's just that your heart has finally pumped all the speed out of your system, Buster. Time to get some more.
Oh, shh.
Don't do that. Stay strong. The hangover will wear off. You don't need to keep doing this to yourself.
Wait. What is speed?
Speed is a potent central nervous system stimulant. It kept you propped up all day yesterday, despite your debilitating hangover. How else did you think you even got up from this floor?
That is a fair point.
You got up from this floor because of a holy vow you made 16 years ago. With me. To wake up exactly 7:30 every morning until the day you die.
I think volition and electrochemistry are having an argument over why I'm getting up so early.
Don't be silly. There was no vow. You were high on speed. That was the only reason you got up. You can't detect without it. It's that simple.
I don't think I need to ask Chad about this one. We've already acclimated ourselves with alcohol and cigarettes and Pyrrolidon. I think we're gonna need speed. We need more speed. Detecting is my life.
Of course. Martinez is speed central. You just gotta poke around. Follow your nose. You and Speed will be happy again. You will make her come home. This time, it will be different.
Okay, we just got a new quest for Tuesday morning. The hangover is coming on mega strong now. You need more speed in your bloodstream. Find some, put it in your hand, and off we go. Well, I didn't think it could get any worse, but it turns out it did. We're not only hungover from binge drinking, we also have amphetamine withdrawal, and it's the only way to keep us going. We're not looking too great, are we? And we're still not one step closer to solving the actual murder. But that's it for day 1 of Disco Elysium. It's onward to day 2. What did we do today? On day 1, what did we actually accomplish? We called the Lazarus. We had an end of the day debrief. We spoke about the pissing competition. Interviewed the Wild Pants rep. We did some police work, but we also found booze and drank it. Found smokes and smoked them. We're a terrific cop. And next time, we'll continue being that superb cop in Disco Elysium as we stretch our arms because it's only 7:30 a.m. and we need speed. I'll see you next time.